Hi guys, I'm so sorry about this. I really don't know why the Facebook Live does this to me every single time. I don't know why the Facebook gods, the internet gods are against me. So I really wanted to do this topic today. That's why I'm recording this so that I can upload it then to my Facebook page. I'm so sorry I couldn't do it as a live though. Hopefully Thursday will be the next one and we'll be up and running properly by that point then again. Okay, so now one of the things that I hear a lot is that, look, I know that I'm not satisfied in the job that I do currently, but I don't know what I'm looking for. I know what I don't like, but I don't necessarily know what I like. And what I always say, and that's what I tell them is what I'm going to share with you. I always say, let's identify your key drivers. Now, your key drivers are the factors that really drive your work satisfaction, your job satisfaction. And we will all have 2 to 3. We may even have more, but there will be some that you lean towards predominantly more than others. So the next question is, how do you figure out what your key drivers are? One of the first places where you should look is the exact place where you thought you shouldn't, is what you do currently. And the reason why I say that is because of this. There are different elements, and I'm going to go through each one. One that I hear very often is, I don't find my work meaningful. So it's not that I have a problem with, I'm earning well. I don't have a problem with my supervisor, my managers. It's not a toxic culture per se. I enjoy working with my colleagues. I just don't feel like I'm making any difference. It's anybody could do what I do, or I'm just not getting the satisfaction of having contributed something meaningfully to either the world around me, my office, anywhere. I just don't find this work meaningful. If that is your primary complaint or your reason for the dissatisfaction in your current work, then obviously that is what you should look for in your next job. Now, this is helpful because why key drivers are helpful is because either it will help you in 2 ways. Either if you've got 3 trillion ideas, it will help you kind of narrow down the field a little bit more because you know what you're looking for. You know what gives you job satisfaction. And the other way around, if you're kind of like just feeling blank, it will start giving you opportunities to look at in terms of what you could do. So when it's a lack of meaning in what you're doing, so you need to find the opposite then. So you need to find a job that fills you with a sense of meaning. Now what meaning means is something that's individual. For some of us, it could be doing something for the environment. For some of us, it could be doing something for children. For some of us, for elder citizens, or for whatever it is. But that a feeling of genuine contribution towards our world and that particular issue. So the issue is up to you, but look for that. Look for that meaning in your next job. And that's what will drive your job satisfaction. At least that will be one of the things. The second most common thing which I hear, I don't feel engaged. I feel like I'm sleepwalking through my job. Again, it's not the pay, it's not the work culture, it's not the management, it's nothing like that. It is purely to do with I'm just not feeling challenged. It's like I said, I could sleepwalk my way through what I do right now. Okay. What I would suggest in that particular case is, first of all, try and sort it out at your current job. Go up to your supervisor or your manager and have a chat with them and say, look, that this is how I feel. I'd like to take on extra responsibilities and I'd like to maybe get rid of these ones, but I'd like to do something different because frankly, I'm bored. If that's not possible, okay, So then you need to figure out what you find engaging. When is it that what really interests you? And to find that, look for the elements of your work you enjoy. And if there's no elements of work that you enjoy, look for it in your previous jobs. And if there's nothing there as well, you've never had a job you like, not even parts of that, then look at your interests. And try and see what it is about your interests that that engages you. So that will then give you an idea of what to look for in your next job. You see? Starting to make sense now, right? I do talk some sense sometimes, my dear people. Right, okay. The next one is something that's actually becoming more and more and more and more common. I see this a lot. I do see this quite a bit. And it doesn't really surprise me, because one of the most important things for us to be happy, for us to have a good sense of well-being, is a sense of agency, or a sense of control, that we're able to control our lives. So naturally, that leads to work as well. And where it leads to in work is a sense of autonomy. All workplaces these days will have or should have a healthy sense of autonomy for the employee. Now, if you find that that's not available at your place of work, again, probably have a word with management first. If you find that it is there, but you really like this idea of working for yourself, you kind of now, you're at a point in your life where being an employee just doesn't cut it for you anymore. You wanna work for yourself. Now, right, okay. So again, the possibilities available to you are these. If it's not a matter of what you do that's the problem, it's a sense of autonomy only, you could work as a freelancer consultant. So you go from contract to contract to contract to contract. So that's brilliant, because the thing is, it gives you some of the benefits of being an employee. So you have long-term contracts, like let's say maybe you go into a firm, you go into the IT section for let's say 6 months to figure out a particular project, and then that's it, you move on to your next one. So you are autonomous. In effect, you are self-employed, you're a consultant. But it does have more of a sense of security rather than, just going it alone completely. So that's, and many consultants or, those type of professions, many of them normally always start with the company that they were working at originally. And this is something that's, it depends on your management culture, but I have spoken to many people who actually speak to their management. I mean, they have good rapport with them, and the management is, they're very supportive, and they say, yeah, okay, we'll support you. So don't disregard your current place of work. So a consultant is one way to go. Another way to go is a complete freelancer. So hire and not fire exactly, but okay, you do bits and pieces like a complete freelancer, and that allows you to change professions completely as well. So if you're, for example, if you're in IT at the moment, maybe you'd like to continue doing IT for a little bit, or you want to you want to maybe do consulting in that for a little bit, but then you really would like to be like a freelance photographer, for example. So that allows you, then freelancing allows you to go it alone completely. So these are the safer option is consultancy, project management, working in an organization where basically teams are formed to do certain tasks and do certain jobs, and then they're dissolved again. Whether you work as a manager of one of those teams, whether you're part of a team, if that's what excites you, if that fulfills your need for autonomy, then you could go down that route. And if it's if you just want to work for yourself, of course you can do freelancing, or you can become self-employed. So you have a lot of opportunities in that area. For some people, and this is again something I hear quite a lot, they're not happy with what they do. They're not desperately miserable. But yeah, it's it's not something that is a driving passion of their life or something like that. But what is important is, because of financial obligations, whether they be in form like a mortgage, a young family, children, teenagers, whatever it is, other dependents, whatever it is, the money plays a part. You're not in a situation where you can say, okay, fine, I've got a year to figure it out. I want to leave, and I'll figure it out once I leave. Now that's not okay. So for some people, that is a possibility, which is great, but for some people it's not a possibility. So what to do in that particular case? You want to so your key drivers are actually all of the previous, in terms of that you already recognize that you don't like your job, you're not engaged, it's not meaningful, it's not giving you that sense of autonomy, that excitement, but you do recognize that the finances, at least for now, are important. What could you do? You can start to plan your career afterwards, or you could start your side hustle right now, or you can start qualifying for it. Remember, career transitions are not, guys, this is a journey. It is not a one-day thing. It's not, for most of us, it's not that you leave work one day and then the next day you found the job of your dreams. It doesn't work like that. If it was, then, it would be brilliant. And then you wouldn't need, the world probably wouldn't need people like me, career transition coaches. It is a journey and it is a process. So you can start your process even without leaving your current job. That's what I'm saying for that one. Now the fifth element, one toe in the retirement pool. Now most of my clients don't tend to be senior citizens, but I have worked with some, and for them the issue is that, look, I want to start downshifting now. I want to continue working. It's not that I want to leave work completely, but I now want to start downscaling. I want to start looking at what really matters to me in my life. And the simplest suggestions I can give for that is either part-time work, and part-time work will give you time. So then you can use that to volunteer for, either you can use it for volunteering, you can use it for a passion project that you have, you can use it in any of those directions. Now the last one that I want to speak about is not a category per se in its own right, but it is something I've seen, and to be honest with you, I see a lot more of it than you would think. And that is the category of people where the main driver, not necessarily a driver per se, but they're coming from a toxic environment, they're coming from a very, very toxic workplace, and naturally what happens in that particular case then is that you just don't want to go back into that sort of an environment again. You don't, if that was corporate, you don't want to go into that sort of environment again. Please don't worry, but try and figure out what your main driver is, apart from not being in that toxic environment. What really, out of the other things which I mentioned in terms of drivers, what really is key to you. And the workplace is changing, and I'm sorry, I'm so sorry if you had to go through that. And it's, you're not alone, because I have heard this from other people as well. In this day and age, workplace bullying, workplace politics, all of that nonsense is quite, I've heard it in quite a few cases. So if this is happening to you, please don't worry, you're not alone. Ask for help. And the good news is that there's a lot of different opportunities for you out there. You don't have to work in corporate. You know, there's startups, there's you know, there's the academic institutions. There's so many different opportunities that you have, so you don't need to go back into that world. And maybe with a bit of time, what you may notice or may realize is that it wasn't necessarily the corporate that you were, you know, that was the problem. It was the people. So it's not necessary that every single corporate will be the same. But this is, of course, you know, it's just a suggestion, or it's just, you know, I'm just bringing it to your awareness. But for many people, it would be that they just don't want to have anything to do with the corporate life anymore. They want to be in a more, you know, informal environment, or a more supportive environment. They, you know, they're looking for an environment which is not like corporate, basically. So these are the 6 situations and the drivers. I do hope today has been very useful, guys. I'm sorry about the Facebook Live, and I will see you guys hopefully live on Thursday. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching this video. Look, I always say this: if what I've talked about today is of interest to you, get in touch. Let's have a convo. Let's have a conversation. Okay? And until Thursday then, guys. Bye-bye. See you.